How's it going, guys? I hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with a gaming news related video, guys. This one is going to be Star Wars related. It's going to be all about Star Wars Jedi Fallen. Well, we got a lot of information this weekend at the Star Wars celebration and a lot more information about the game, all of which sounded really positive. And I'm really trying not to get too excited, but it sounds really cool. So what do we know about Star Wars Jedi Fallen already, even beforehand? We know that it is set between episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and episode 4. It is a Jedi focused story and it's set after Order 66 has taken place, and you play as a young Padawan who is basically trying to survive those events. That is what we knew going into this weekend. Well, after this weekend, we have had a lot more information and we're going to break it down in this video. So firstly, on Friday, the head of Respawn Entertainment, the team behind this game, Vince Sampella, actually gave an interview on stage where he dropped some pretty big bombshells.
We know a little bit though.
A little bit.
Let's do like ballpark. This is
all right.
This is in the dark times.
It's a Padawan's journey who survived after Order 66. And we're going to see his journey to
And this is a story?
It is. It's a single-player story game. We worked really closely. Yes.
Hey, Vince,
no multiplayer,
like
no microtransactions. It's a story game.
Absolutely amazing. Part of me is still a little bit sort of like cynical because obviously EA have been focusing on this whole games as a service. They've already cancelled 2 Star Wars games that they had in the works. And, you know, after the whole focus with Battlefront and the whole focus with online and everything in all of their games and multiplayer in all of their games, and particularly with Respawn being a team really that brought us the very good Titanfall and also Apex Legends. They're a team that are known for multiplayer games. So the fact that this game is going to be a single player story focused game kind of blew me away. I'm really surprised that obviously EA are backing this, but I'm really happy that they are because I love story focused games and I think it's really what Star Wars needs, and I'm hoping that this game is going to be really good. But that was a massive bombshell that Vince Sampella then dropped, and he got a huge cheer from the crowd, not surprisingly. So that's pretty big news that we heard, but we did hear more information about it. So who are we actually going to play as? Well, the main character is a guy called Cal Kestis. He's actually going to be portrayed by Cameron Monaghan, who is the actor most famous in Gotham, and he brought us the Joker or Jeremiah Velasquez in that TV series, and he's probably one of my favorite characters in Gotham. I love him. I think he's a really good actor. I think he has an incredible range, and I think he's going to bring a lot to the actual character. So the game basically is set right after Order 66. Now obviously Cal has gone through a lot of pretty harrowing experiences, and he does have to come to terms with that throughout the game. But the game basically begins the beginning of his story, as we saw in a cinematic story trailer. The beginning of the story is set on the planet Bracca in a scrapyard where Cal is basically cutting apart decommissioned Star Destroyers. There is a worksite accident which actually causes him to use his force powers in order to save a friend, thus exposing him as a Jedi in training. And as a result, the Imperial Inquisitors then for the rest of the game are hunting him down, as well as the remaining Jedi, to obviously kill them. So yeah, the Inquisitors are very well known. If you're a big fan of Star Wars Rebels, which I am, and also the Star Wars Clone Wars as well, but particularly Rebels, they play quite a big part in Rebels, and I really enjoy that series, and I think the Inquisitors are really cool. We got to see a couple of the sort of styles of them. So we got to see Second Sister. She's one of the main Inquisitors in the game, and she leads a special sort of commando team called purge troopers. These are elite commandos that will be trying to track down Cal and take him down. It looks really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit about some of the people behind it. So leading the game is creative director Stig Asmussen. He is a veteran of the game industry, and he's worked on God of War 3, and I think the fact that he's on this title really shows, you know, a lot of promise. He did talk about the team that are working on it, and they've had people that are working in the team that have worked on like Uncharted 4, I think he mentioned, obviously God of War, Metal Gear, he mentioned a couple of others as well, but it sounds like a pretty awesome team that are actually working on it. Cal is also going to have his very own droid called BD8, which is also known as Buddy Droid, not BD8, BD1, sorry, which is a sort of shorthand for Buddy Droid 1. BD1 is going to provide a lot of sort of light humor to it as well, probably going to be quite endearing, quite funny, inspired obviously heavily by R2D2 and Chopper, and also BD8 as well. So I'm really looking forward to him, but he's also got his uses as well. So he does like have this spotlight that he provides for you, maybe to shine some light in certain, you know, dark places. So this is a Jedi fantasy story. Now they have confirmed a little bit about the story and also the gameplay. Now, one of the lead writers actually on the story is a guy called Matt Miktavis, and he is actually one of the lead writers in Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and that makes me even more excited about the story because I think it's going to be really, really, really good. Let's talk a little bit about the combat. So this is a third-person action melee game. So what that means is there's not really going to be any stealth in the game. It's going to be very much about melee. It's going to be combat that's very much focused around the use of a lightsaber as well as force powers, and the combat is quite a integral part of the game. So they have said that they've focused a lot on the combat to make it sort of weighty and make it feel real. They said that they wanted the combat to be easy to pick up, but that it also has real depth as well, and they've been focusing on this idea of thoughtful combat, which is basically where you really have to sort of think about what moves you use, what force powers you use. You have to size up your enemies and then identify and exploit their weaknesses. But it looks really good. I mean, the story trailer we got to see, it looked absolutely beautiful. It wasn't obviously key gameplay, but they did say that it is all rendered in the in-game engine. Now, what's really interesting is the game is actually developed on Epic Games Unreal Engine. So they are not using the Frostbite engine. So that mandate that EA has that all developers have to use the Frostbite, they're not doing that here, and I think that is brilliant. I think that's really, really good, particularly because they'll be focusing on a third-person game, and we all know that BioWare had massive issues with the Frostbite engine when making Dragon Age Inquisition, Mass Effect Andromeda particularly, and obviously also Anthem. So the fact that it's on the Unreal Engine will hopefully mean that it's a more stable game. It doesn't have as many bugs or glitches, and obviously it'll mean they'll be able to really pull out the full extent of that engine and really show it off. And the trailer just looks absolutely beautiful. Looks really, really good. So when is this game coming out? Well, really surprisingly, it's coming out this year. I thought we were not going to see this game until 2020 at least, but it's coming out on the 15th of November 2019, and it is going to be available on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So that's pretty much everything that we know so far about Star Wars Jedi Fallen. I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more about the game in the future, but I've got to say, everything I've heard has me excited. The fact that this is a Star Wars game, you get to play as a Jedi, it's a combat melee focused game, it's a single player story focused game with a, you know, really seasoned writers and crew behind it. They've also been working with Lucasfilm as well, and you know, there's no multiplayer, there's no microtransactions, and it's by Respawn. And you know, I really do like Respawn. I really enjoyed their Titanfall series. I thought Titanfall 2 2 was a heavily underrated game, and Apex Legends has been incredibly successful and deserves all the success that it has. It's a very, very good game. So yeah, I'm excited for Star Wars Jedi Fallen. I'm trying not to get too excited. I'm trying not to kind of, you know, fall into that trap, because I was excited about Battlefront 2 after I saw Battlefront 2's trailer, but then that game came out and all the loot boxes and microtransactions. But hopefully Respawn will not make the same mistake. Hopefully EA have learnt their lesson, and hopefully this game will be successful, and I'm hoping it will be successful, and it will teach EA a lesson. If it is a single player game with, you know, really good story, no microtransactions and no multiplayer, I will absolutely be picking this game up to play it, because why wouldn't I support this game? It would send a message to EA that single player games, there's still a market for them, they're still incredibly successful, and yeah, I'm hopeful for the future of Star Wars, having heard this. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this news and this information. If I missed anything out that you found out, please put that in the comment section below anyway. Let me know, guys, what you think. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.